Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Litecoin. Right now we're at 133.64. We're down 2.45%. We're going to dig in some things. We're going to start on the 4 hour. We're going to work our way back to the 1 day. We're going to go through some indicators, some stuff like that. But first of all, I want to talk to you guys a second, and this is going to be about altcoins. While I have you here, I just want to talk to you about this a little bit. So there's been some people or news, whatever, going around, and people saying that, you shouldn't invest in altcoins, that it should only be Bitcoin. And as much as I love Bitcoin, and I do believe that it's gold 2.0, I'm a huge fan of Bitcoin. I don't believe that's the only cryptocurrency that's going to survive. And what people aren't understanding about these altcoins, so Bitcoin's taken off. It's went from 3,100 guys past $9,000. We've had Litecoin go from 22 all the way up to, what was it at the top here, guys? Probably around that 145. I mean, think about that move that we've had throughout this time. We need to be very thankful for that. From $22 up to 140 something. That's an incredible move. But what you're seeing is Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum and some of these bigger altcoins, what they've done, they've already went through the accumulation phase. So after the bear market, you're going to have an accumulation phase, and then you're going to go into a short-term bullish uptrend, then an intermediate-term bullish uptrend, and then a longer-term bullish uptrend. In the short terms from 0 to 3 months, intermediates from 3 to 6, and then basically all my books that I've been reading and studying about, they say that a longer term bull market is anywhere from 6 months to a year or more. And that's what we're trying to get into, is this long term bullish uptrend. But the point I'm trying to make to you is that Bitcoin and these bigger altcoins have went through that, but many of these altcoins that are still good projects are still in the accumulation phase, and we need to look at that. We need to pay attention to that. That's where percentage gains are made, and that's what you want to keep in the back of your mind, that hey, if there's a good project and it's still down 95%, you could probably make more of a percentage gain than you could even with Litecoin or with Bitcoin or one of those. So you want to think in percentages, guys, and that's what I wanted to bring to you here. And remember, you want to learn how to trade for yourself. I'm here to help you all, but I'm not your trade coach. I'm not anything like that. I've done this for a year and a half. I'm not a professional. I'm trying the best that I can. But you want to learn this stuff for yourself as well. Okay, really study hard and work hard towards it. And that's what I want to do. I want to encourage people to do that, because I've seen it. I've went from just a hodler to where I'll even scalp trade at times now, guys. I feel very comfortable trading to the upside as well as the downside. I want you all to get to that point as well, so that you don't have to go through these huge emotional swings where you're having monstrous spikes and then selling off. I mean, that's so much stress on your body, guys, having to go through that. And if you can protect your money when you see a massive sell-off coming, that's something you may want to think about. So, and then also once it retraces, you'll have more money, or you'll have money to buy more coins. You'll even be able to accumulate more coins. So that's what you want to do, guys, accumulate those coins without going into your bank account. So I want to teach you that the best that I can, and I appreciate you being here with me today. If you like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll dig into this. All right, so Litecoin, we're at a critical area, guys. Very critical area, just so you know. We have been extremely bullish. Go out and look at the week stock. If we do this real quick, guys, then I'll come back to the 4 hour. Look on the 1 week. Look at the stochastic RSIs at 96 and 98 right now. We're pegged out, and you can see we're starting to get a little cross right here. So that's something that I do want to pay very close attention to. I like trading in the short term and also the long term as well. So on the 4 hour, while I'm saying we had a critical area, we're looking at this little symmetrical triangle right here. And what we're having is lower highs right there, lower highs and higher lows. And we broke down out of this trend line as well. So out of this symmetrical triangle, we broke to the downside on 4 hour candle close there. We had one of them. Traditionally, I want to wait for 2 candle closes so I can see where we're at. Some people will go off 1. If it's on the 1 day and you get a close below a trend line or up above a trend line on 1 day, that's typically good if it's on good volume. But we did break to the downside here on some decent volume. So now what we're looking at on the 4 hour, and this was also, we broke through the 0.236 Fibonacci. So from this micro fib move, just this fib alone, we broke down through the 0.236, where we would have looked for a bounce to continuously move to the upside and set a higher high, and that's not happening right now. So we want to look at that. But what we're doing is finding a little bit of support off this 50 moving average, and we're going to want to wait and see where this candle closes. If it closes deep up into the candle that we just had here, that's going to be better. The deeper we close up into here, the stronger this candle will be. Right now, if we closed here, this is basically a harami pattern, and we'd want to wait for confirmation to see if we're going to continue to move to the upside or if we're going to roll down here, and we'd start looking where we had this doji candle. That's going to be around about that 128, guys. I'd look at that around that 0.382 as well. That 126 is something that I'd pay close attention to. But we did break to the downside here, guys. And sometimes you'll break down out of these. Then you'll come back up, retest this trend line, fall back even farther. That's an option. Sometimes you just break out of it. Other times you can actually fall like where we're at to this 50 here and then get back up in this trend line and continue to move up. Now, if we continue to move up from here, that would still be a higher low than from what we had here. So we had a lower high, we pushed up, we had a lower high, but we could have a higher low, getting a low equilibrium, and then eventually break to the upside as well. So that's why I said we're going to plan for the upside. Our upside targets are going to be up here around 138, and then I'm going to try to get up over that 144, 145, we'll call it. To the downside now, we want to see this 50 hold, and then it would be around that 126.94. But what's happening with this 50 moving average here, it's looking like we're starting to get a bullish cross on the stochastic. We're going to have to wait to see if we get confirmation, but we're at 12 and 11, so we're oversold in that territory right now with decreasing volume. So volume here, do you see that going down, guys? And then this was the first little spike that we've had up out of there. So that's why I said we're at a critical area. Truly, we could drop to the upside, or I'm sorry, drop to the downside, or we could really move to the upside here. It's just going to depend on what we want to do and what the whale's going to do. Remember, we always want to ride their coattails. That's what we're looking to do, guys. I can't tell you when a guy is going to put in money while I'm sleeping at night, a whale. You know, it is what it is. They're going to do what they want to do. Right now, they could crash Litecoin down to $95 if they wanted to very fast, or they could, you know, bump us up and we could go up there and challenge that 175. Anything's possible in this space, and that's why I love this space so much. All right, so let's get this Fibonacci off here. Now what we're going to do, we're going to work back to the day. I want to zoom in on the day with you guys, and I'm going to get these trend lines off as well just so we can see stuff better. All right, and if you like Litecoin, guys, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Awesome to be here with you today. Okay, so stock it's looking like we're starting to get a little downward cross, guys. We're at 78 and 79, so we are in overbought territory there. That's something that we want to pay attention to. This was one heck of a move here. We had a rickshaw man doji at the top. We pushed back down. We set a higher low on almost a hammer candle. We pushed up, and it looked like we were going to continuously have continuation, and then we started to fall again. So on the one day, I would look to see if we broke down through around that 130.94, and then it'd be down to this 20 EMA, which I'd look at around 122 for support. But we have to factor in that this stock is in that overbought conditions right now. And what we're going to do is go through these oscillators and see what's happening. And we're going to add them all up together. So far the stochastic, guys, we're having that bearish cross to the downside. Let's hit our relative strength next. Relative strength, it's like we're pointing down a little bit here. So what we're having is lower highs, it's looking like, and then we're having higher lows there. So almost still that little symmetrical triangle type deal that we're looking at. We're at 64 right now on the RSI. So guys, we still, I mean, there's still more room to run to the upside, but it's looking like right now, do you see this area? We're at 102. Our RSI was around 77. We pushed up to 117. Our RSI was at 73, and then we pushed all the way up to around that 144, and our RSI is around that 73. So what was happening, the price was going up, but our RSI really wasn't swelling up much more. So we do want to keep our eye on that. Next one, let's hit our MACD. See how the histogram's looking as well. And tell me what you guys are doing. Like right now, are you in positions? Are you cautiously in positions with stop losses? Are you buying more? What's your guys' take on the market right now? So the MACD here, looking like it wants some type of bearish cross, but guys, you see how it happened here. Then sometimes you can just move right back up to the upside. So you want to wait for confirmed crosses. Histogram is starting, it's a little more neutral, but it's starting to head down a little bit. So we want to keep that on our radar. Let's check our Bollinger Bands. And with our Bollinger Bands, I mean, we're still pretty overextended here, guys. And that's just something I want you to keep on your radar. This is, you know, we're still at the top region there of the Bollinger Bands. And typically when you do get outside of those or get to the top of them here, you start to have some type of retracement. So we do want to keep our eye on that. A lot of things here for Litecoin looking a little bit more like we need a correction on the longer time frames, okay? So just be aware of that, guys. I'm not telling you you can't break to the upside. Believe me, Litecoin can do whatever Litecoin wants to do. That just is what it is. And then we'll go to, let's see if I had any other ones I want to share with you today. Guys, let's go back to the stock one more time. Okay, so with that stock at 78 and 80, we want to pay attention, guys. A lot of times when you get up to this area, what happens? Do you see how it falls? See how it falls right up here? Falls. I mean, it happens. Sometimes you'll just go down a little bit and then you'll pop back up, but we want to be aware of this area. We're at a very, very critical area. I'm not just putting that out for a title. We're at a very critical area right now. So I don't want to take too much of your time there, guys, but I wanted to bring this to you and just tell you to be cautious right now. And if we go back to the 4 hour, real quick here, this is what I'm going to be paying attention to. Remember that trend line that I had drawn, and also what we do with this 50 moving average here. We're going to get a nice strong bounce off it, set a nice higher low, continue to move to the upside. That's a possibility. Or guys, was this our push up? We came up again, we failed, and now we're going to start dropping down, maybe start looking at that like 120 area where we're also lining up with that 100-day moving average. So it's a tight area. Let's see what happens. God bless each and every one of you.